PCS union. We're taking strike action on Monday and Tuesday to defend our terms and conditions. But it seems to me that the dispute here is actually a much more fundamental and I would argue a much more important issue. It's about human dignity, it's about people being allowed to organise themselves, it's about people to be allowed to work in proper conditions. So therefore, I bring greetings and solidarity from the PCS union. I wish you the best of luck in your dispute. What you should obviously be clearly doing is contacting the various PCS branches where we can give you practical solidarity in the sense of money, and I'll obviously get you down into branches and speakers and what have you. That would be vitally important. We have to make this cause célèbre inside the London Labour movement so that everyone knows the disgraceful behaviour of the UBS, so that every worker organising the union in London understands the importance of the dispute. As I said, we're on strike on Monday and Tuesday, but in many ways I think this is actually a much more important dispute. As I said, it comes down to the basics of human dignity, union recognition, and actually that workers should work in proper conditions. So I salute you and I wish you best of well.
White British, white European, white North American workers with secure immigration status to make common cause with our sisters and brothers from Latin America, from Africa and elsewhere around the globe in the fight for union recognition, in the fight for a living wage, and the fight for dignity at work for all of us. Frankly, these workers like Alberto, who have done so much to fight for the living wage here at UBS and to sustain union organisation in some very unlikely workplaces, deserve a round of applause, but more than that, they deserve our solidarity. Those people are going to be crucial to the sustaining of a labour movement in this country and to its eventual revitalisation. Thank you very much.
Bankers like UBS didn't get millions from us, didn't get billions from us, they got trillions. Now in that building there, that would apply to just a few of those people, not the admin staff, not the workers on the tills or any other workers, certainly not the security guards here, they'll be on flat wages as well, and certainly not the cleaners. Truth of the matter is, it's not what union you're in, it's not what job you do, it's whose side you're on. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what creed you are, whose side are you on. There is a shitstorm coming at us. Whoever gets into the election, there's a shitstorm coming. The people that have been at the front of that are people like Alberto, people that are trying to fight for decent living wages.
I'm from the Lambeth College University and College Union branch. First of all, I want to say in terms of Alberto, he's been put in a terrible situation, but in reality, Alberto should be considered a hero, because what he does with his life is he spends his time trying to improve other people's lives. Alberto came to my college. I'm an English teacher, I teach English to speakers of other languages, and he came and spoke to my course tutor group. Many of our students are cleaners, on wages at and around the minimum wage, nowhere near the London living wage. Alberto came and spoke to my class, and immediately we were getting stories from them, things like people who'd worked for cleaning agencies, they'd worked for 2 weeks, worked for a month, didn't get any money. They were not getting paid. Not even that they weren't getting a terrible minimum wage, they weren't even getting any of the money, and they had no rights. They didn't know what to do about it. And I went to a meeting of migrant workers organising, and one of the speakers said, one of the biggest barriers we have is that we can't speak English. We don't know our rights. So it's very important for my union, the people in my union, especially the people who teach immigrants, that we campaign for them to have the right to come and learn English. Now I told my class, who obviously remembered Alberto, what happened to him, and they immediately agreed to send a message of support to this picket and they agree entirely that he should be immediately reinstated and that all the demands of the other workers should be agreed to by UBS. I'm also sending you a message of support from my union branch, Lambeth College UCU. And people have raised the question of the banks. I'll just give you a little fact. It's now estimated something like 850 billion were paid to the banks for bailouts. Last year, education, the money the government spent on education was something like 85 billion. There is going to be an argument in the election, and we can expect this, to say we need cuts. And one of the problems is we can't afford to keep paying as much as we are for public services because there are too many immigrants in this country. And we are going to have to counter that argument. We are going to have to say it is not the immigrants who have decided to pay the banks. It is not the immigrants who have decided to cut the public sector payment for health and education. In fact, it is the immigrants who are going to bear the worst brunt of any cuts. So our union sends a message of support. The campaign around cuts will be very important, and you will all need to get involved in that. And we send a message of support to this campaign. Victory to Alberto and the other workers at UBS.
Well, the official title is Union Bank of Switzerland. Now, I've got nothing against unions, and I've got nothing against the Swiss, but I have got something against bankers. And that's why we've called for a renaming of UBS. We opened the competition last time, and one of the candidates is Universal Bloodsuckers. UBS are universal bloodsuckers getting their wealth from all over the world. And we say shame on UBS because it is paying its cleaners also from all over the world shockingly low wages, poverty wages, and even those poverty wages have been cut by nearly 11%. This is the great system of fair play, telling the truth, honouring its commitments of universal bloodsucker UBS. So we're going to say UBS, universal bloodsucker UBS, shame on UBS!
Universal bloodsuckers!
UBS!
Shame on you!
But the competition is still open, and the late entrance is UBS, unrepentant Babylon system. Babylon system is a vampire sucking the blood of the sufferers day by day. You heard that line? Comes from Rowan Nestor Marley. He wrote it, he could have been writing about this bank. They're paying their workers less than 55